A haunting line to Jim from the Season 1 finale returns in from Season 3 finale, introducing a terrifying revelation about the evils in Fromville. Much like Lost, which was also directed and written by producers Jack Bender and Jeff Pinkner, From does a fantastic job at keeping audiences guessing, with another mystery being introduced for each one that's solved. That happens to be the case in From Season 3's ending, which includes plenty of long-awaited revelations about the town's history and the residents' purposes, but adds new, intriguing twists through figures like the Man in Yellow. In From Season 3's final moments, Jim returns to the RV, where a disheveled Julie from the future appears and begs him to leave. Suddenly, a frightening man with black eyes wearing a yellow suit walks up and notes that Jade sure can play. He continues to vaguely tell Jim that it didn't have to be this way, but knowledge has a cost, proceeding to pin Jim against the RV. Before the mysterious Man in Yellow slashes Jim's throat, he reminds him, "Your wife shouldn't have dug that hole, Jim," confirming the villain spoke to Jim back in Season 1. The yellow suit monster's line to Jim a callback to the town's warning in From Season 1. Jim was told over the CB radio that Tabitha shouldn't be digging that hole. Jim talking on the radio in the rain in From Season 1 finale. The Man in Yellow telling Jim that his wife shouldn't have dug that hole is a direct callback to From Season 1 finale. While trying to find ways to communicate with the outside world, Jim constructed a radio tower while using an old CB radio. Eventually, a voice did speak to Jim over the CB radio, ominously telling him, "Your wife shouldn't be digging that hole, Jim." Since the entity also reveals that he tried to warn Jim in the past, the Man in Yellow repeating that line confirms that he was the voice on the other end of the radio back in Season 1. Though Jim received calls from Thomas, who took on the voice of a 10-year-old kid in From Season 3, he didn't hear from that Season 1 voice again until the Season 3 finale. The Man in Yellow's original message was in reference to Tabitha digging a hole in the basement of their house in From Season 1's ending. They wanted to figure out where the electricity came from and what lay beneath the surface of Fromville, with Tabitha's literal and figurative digging leading her to the town's mysterious tunnels. Tabitha digging the hole led to uncovering the truth behind the town's monsters and tragedies. Tabitha started seeing visions of the children after going to the tunnels. When the man on the CB radio back in Season 1 told Jim that Tabitha shouldn't be digging the hole, it was clear that she was onto something that would divulge some crucial information about the town's real nature. Of course, finding the tunnels would do exactly that, as that location was involved in some of the worst tragedies and supernatural occurrences in From's history. Not only are the tunnels where the monsters go to sleep, but it's also where From's Ankui children were sacrificed and where the monsters were created and are still reborn. It was her digging the hole that led to the moment of revelation that Tabitha and Jade are reincarnations of Miranda and Christopher, and that, in their original forms, one of the sacrificed Ankui kids was their daughter. After Tabitha reached the tunnels, she began to see visions of the Ankui kids, perhaps because her soul returning to that location allowed the children to finally reach her and compel her to remember. Given how dangerous these revelations are to the stability of From's reality-warping chaos, the Man in Yellow was warning Jim that there would be consequences for these discoveries once the origins of the monsters and the history behind the Ankui children are revealed. The residents appear to have most of the knowledge they require to escape Fromville, or at least end the cycle that has seemingly been occurring for centuries. Tabitha digging the hole to the tunnel unlocked the truth to the Ankui kids' history, and would later lead to Fatima giving birth to the Smiley monster and confirming the creature's role in killing the children in exchange for eternal life. Since Fromville thrives on chaos and confusion, the Man in Yellow wouldn't want that information disclosed. Who is the Man in Yellow and why does he kill Jim? The Man in Yellow seems to be the cause of Fromville's evils. While it's now confirmed that he was the voice on the CB radio, the Man in Yellow's identity and role are still largely a mystery. However, the fact that he's able to walk around during the day, has claws and black eyes, and can speak over phones and radios makes him a distinct entity from From's nocturnal monsters. Rather, it's possible that the Man in Yellow was responsible for creating From's monsters, perhaps being the one who convinced them to sacrifice the children in exchange for immortality. He seems to be the driving force behind From's evils and nightmares, and would therefore be the entity responsible for upholding Fromville's order of chaos. The Man in Yellow may be the secret keeper of Fromville, so he'll be the one to prevent too much knowledge about the town's history from being spread. Before the Man in Yellow kills Jim, he tells him that knowledge comes with a cost, revealing that Jim had to die because he was difficult to manipulate and knew too much about From's town secrets.